here we are again, Thursday afternoon. Market reporters time.
Yes.
Yes. So what are we going to talk about today?
All the new papers are full about the ECB, but we are going to talk.
So we are not going to talk about it.
No, we do it briefly, but we're going to talk about Inditex today.
Yeah, Inditex.
It's quite interesting, I think, because we have some inside information, but also our personal view on it.
Yes.
But first, ECB.
Yes,
what happened?
ECB. Well, Thursday at 2:00, everybody was sitting in front of his computer watching the screen. What was the outcome of the meeting? And not really surprising. No, they are only going to raise the interest rates with 0.25%, so 25 basis points, with the expectation to do so a little bit more from September onwards. Furthermore, they're going to stop buying bonds. Is it much? Is it not much? It's not that much.
I saw a picture of the meeting, or the lunch of the meeting. That was our king and our queen and the chairman of the Dutch Central Bank, Klaas Knot, and Lagarde, and they had a great lunch.
Yes.
And they announced, after the lunch, they announced 25 basis points.
Yeah.
So that was expected. I don't understand why they have that meeting in Amsterdam. Everybody's flying to there, and then 25 basis points.
Yeah, they could have done that also via Zoom, I think.
Yeah, because their colleagues from Poland also came with a increasement.
Yeah, they did it a little bit bigger. They increased the interest rates with, they were at 5.25%, and they raised it with 0.75%. So that's
6
to 6%. Yeah, so substantial.
But keep in mind that's not on euros, the 6%. That's on Polish zlotys.
Polish zlotys.
Yeah. Do you have them?
No, not anymore.
No? You had them in the past?
I had them in my wallet in the past. Not on a bank account.
So it doesn't make it.
Doesn't matter now.
You all know, but some people don't realize that as I have dollars, I get 1%. Yeah. If you have them in your safe, you don't get it. Who's going to pay you the 1%
No,
you need to have it in a bank account.
You have to have it on a bank account, that's true.
And they are fighting inflation at ECB. That's what they were doing, of course. They were, not only having the great lunch with the king, but in the meantime, they were fighting the inflation. and with a good result already, because in May
the inflation really scares me.
It is based on yourself.
No, but I saw today again, I was watching the Spanish newspaper, and I saw this chart of the inflation, and then it's just, what is one characteristic of a chart?
That it goes from left to right.
Yeah, and another thing is that it's a line, and the line is not in generally only going up, right? It's going up and down and up and down. If you look at this inflation, you had this like this, right? And each time it's at the top, and I'm not saying here what's coming now is not exciting, we all know it, but each time it was at these levels, and we've never seen these high levels over the last 20 years, but afterwards the market went down.
Ah, yeah.
So, but it's really like 2000.
Yeah, we talked about it last week.
2007, 2011, 2021, 22.
But all those scenarios, the central banks didn't interfere as much as they are doing at this moment, or what they did in the recent past when there was some storm in the financial markets.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, ECB fighting inflation. Inditex. What is Inditex, Martin?
Inditex is it's a clothing manufacturer, I would say, and shop owner.
Yeah. And is it a big company?
Yes, it's one of the biggest in the world.
I think it's the biggest, no?
In what they're doing.
In their sector.
In their sector. Yeah, the Inditex is called Industria de Diseño y de Textil, I think. Textilos, and they are from the north of Spain.
But that's really important what Martin is saying, because if you go into your platform, if you go into our platform, and you fill in the search engine, in the search box Inditex, you can't find Inditex. You have to fill in
Industrias de Textil, de Diseño. I say it wrong, by the way. Just type in Industria.
Or you Google it first.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's different with Google, because if you are looking for Google, so Alphabet, you put Google in, you find Alphabet.
Yeah, that's true.
That's really important.
Yeah, absolutely.
And why are we talking about Inditex? Because they came with their figures yesterday, their quarterly figures. Their quarterly figures, you think maybe, they are quite late.
1st of January.
But that has a reason, because their quarter goes from the 1st of February to the last day of March.
Correct.
So it's a little bit broken quarter. And it was good.
It was very good.
Yeah, it was. They made more profit than Q1, the broken calendar Q1 of last year.
Yeah.
760 million, and that was an increasement of 80%. And the shops, the
shops are doing very well.
The shops were good.
Yeah.
36% more revenues came from the shops, and the online sales went down with 6%.
Yeah, that is also, I think, normal.
Yeah, because they had a lot of online sales in Q1 last year in that period.
And there was one small period that everybody was still closed.
They also said, what did the stock? What did the stock price?
Yeah, not so much exciting stuff, to be honest. They were at yeah, that's a subject.
No, but I mean yesterday.
Oh, yesterday.
Yeah, based on
I
that
thought
news.
you talk about history. It's 4% up.
Yeah, that's good. And today, until 1 hour ago, it's now around 4 o'clock. It went up with a little bit more than 1%.
1%.
So the market also responded really positive on this news.
Yes.
Okay, Inditex is not a brand, no?
Well, it's the brand, is the name of the company.
Yeah, it's not a brand.
No.
So what are the brands?
Well, they have a lot of brands, and I think the most known one is Zara, and then you have Stradivarius, Pull&Bear, Massimo Dutti, Uterque, Oysho, all brands of Zara Home. So yeah, they all have main street brands, I think. No, if you walk through any shopping street, you will see Inditex shops
everywhere. Yeah, and by the way, they could have reported more profit over the last quarter, but they had to take a reservation. I think it was 220 million because of the problems in the Ukraine and in Russia.
Do you know where the name Zara comes from?
I don't know. I hope you know. No, I don't know.
Yeah, it's the owner of Zara, the founder was of Inditex, actually, what we say. So it comes from La Coruña, the north of Spain, and he had
what is his name?
Armancio Ortega.
Oh, so his not name is Zara.
No, his name is not Zara, and he had his first shop in a street in La Coruña in 1975, and he called that shop Zorba, from the Greek Zorba. It was a famous movie in the time, and. Actually, the problem was that there was a bar, a small Spanish bar, tapas bar, and the guys had also called his bar Zorba. So he requested, could you please change the name? So then he did that. He
the owner of the bar?
Yeah, he asked Armancio, por favor, take out the Zorba, because that's a little bit strange, you know. So he changed it to Zorba. He took out from Zorba to Zara. Took out the O, took out the B, and changed the O for an A, and then he basically had a name. So funny story, I think. No?
Yeah, and they produce. I saw they produce around 65,000 items a year.
Yeah, that's insane.
Every 2 weeks, I think. The new items are being delivered in the shops.
Yeah, but the funny thing is that their shops are not packed anymore. In the
with people?
No, with clothes. Oh. Yeah, probably pack the clothes. But they made a really big shift, and I spoke about it with somebody that we know quite well that's in the textile business. Yeah, they're doing really, really well because people like that there are.
So they made luxury.
They make a bit of a step, and they have like from each size only a little bit like what the boutiques are doing. No, one size, one, and then in the back they have more, but one jacket of each size, and not like 20 L's and 20 S's and etc.
No, they're doing amazing. Yeah. Okay, it's on the stock market, and the price is around €23.80.
Yes.
Is that high? Is that low? If you go back 5 years, and I have it here on my paper, and maybe we put it in the screen if our colleagues are willing to do it.
Yes.
This is the chart. This is the chart. This is the chart. Here's the chart. Now, look. What do you see here? 5 years back.
I see a line. I see a no. Now you can see that of course pre-COVID it was approximately around €30, and then in the COVID dip it went down to the levels where we are more or less now. Then it recovered for almost a year and a half until December, and in December the price went down again to the COVID dip levels, and you have an answer why that is or was.
Yeah, but it's interesting. What do we see here? So in 5 years' time,
yes,
it is a bandwidth of between 20 and 32,
yes.
And that's really small. We talked about Netflix in the last weeks, about Amazon, and they are the volatility in those companies is much higher. So it's between 20 and 32. So 23 is at the almost at
bottom of the range.
At the bottom of the range of 5 years' time.
Yeah.
Yeah. You asked me why did it drop in the last months, or the end of the year. It was the market was looking at the father is now 86.
Yes, Armancio.
Yeah, and who was the person that took over the CEO function. And they appointed in, I think it was November, December, appointed his daughter.
Yes, that's correct.
37 years old, and they said at the same time, okay, but we're going to install a strong management team with a lot of experience around. So they also understood from the market that they maybe were not too happy with her. Still young, 15 years working in a company, something like that. And that's how the market responded on that. And you had a good remark the other day. You said, okay, but so there was a quite negative reaction. So if she can prove this kind of results the next quarters, then I think the market sentiment can turn around.
Yes, absolutely.
What's the outlook? The analysts think on average 26, 27 is the target price. So over 1 year, again, the price is now around 23.80 euros. So a little bit problem, but not too much. No, it's not 50% more. And if you look at the revenues, then this year it's going to be around the level of 2020, but the market is expecting a growth of 10% for next year and 10% the other year.
Next year,
So it's grow. They not only think about revenues growth, but also profit growth. And that's of course really important. You don't see that in all the sectors, and especially this is a sector. How do you call this sector?
The discretionary sector, consumer discretionary.
Yeah, and what is happening in that sector? A lot of margin pressure. No.
Yes. Price increases. Supply chain issues.
Yeah. So
and so forth.
So I think this is a positive share that outstands that market sentiment in that sector.
And not too expensive at the moment.
Yeah, no, target price, we talked about it. And if you look at the profit per share, it's around 21. So you pay now 21 times the profit.
Yeah.
And we just showed that the profit will increase. That's what the market thinks. The revenues increase. So if you buy it now, your price earnings goes down.
Yeah, so also look at the dividend per share. The expectations are also €1. So it's also not so bad.
Dividend, yeah. You don't see that a lot anymore.
3.5-4%.
Yeah,
not bad.
Yeah, it's a really good remark. So if you, a lot of people, they have a lot of sectors in their portfolio. You know, a lot of tech, of course, and oil. And this sector, if you can also call it the clothing sector or whatever. It's textile. The market, the biggest market player there is.
Yeah.
And they have a good outlook, so it can be a really interesting share to look at.
And also, what we said before, just to wrap up it, you see that the movement, the volatility is not so high, so you can have them with it. It's not something that will. I mean, of course, if there's a scandal, everything can happen. But in general, I think it's one of those stocks. Yeah, it's just there. It's okay.
Yeah.
You invest in it with the perspective that it becomes worth more in a couple of years' time.
Yeah. So
wrap.
Look at it. Maybe interesting for you. Give us your thumbs up for us.
Thumbs up, not your thumb.
Yeah.
And then we see you next week.
Thank you. Bye-bye.